Welcome folks to a Guardians of Middle-earth Guardian overview. Today we'll be taking a look at Arathorn, a warrior guardian. As a warrior, Arathorn has a pretty decent basic attack, which scales fairly well into the later levels. His passive, Era of Isildur, grants him a critical strike every 10th hit. Staggering Shot stuns enemies and deals a decent amount of ability damage. Dunedain Blade creates an AoE slow and damage around him. Chieftain's Focus grants him an attack speed buff while also dealing damage in a cone to enemy guardians. And his ultimate Ranger's Strike grants him invisibility as well as slows his enemies. Vapors of Gorgoroth is the primary relic I'll be using. This grants him a lot of sustain and staying power, along with the Swordsman relic, which allows him to quickly finish off anyone once he's gotten them whittled down a bit. I prefer to run some movement potions, so got a couple dash potions on Arathorn, and that pairs with the recovery potions, again, getting him out or letting him sustain a little bit. For commands, we're going to go with Heal and Smite, along with Summon Archers, and to cap it off, a Summon Defense. So let's see him in action. So here I'm going to demonstrate each of his abilities on a neutral enemy. Just makes it a little bit easier to showcase. So this bottom creature is who we'll be primarily targeting. So I'm going to start off with the passive. So as you'll see, so there was 298 crit. That is the 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7, 8, 9, and my next basic attack should deal a critical hit. So I didn't want to kill him, so I just leashed him a little bit to reset. So here is the 10th strike for a critical, and then we reset. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10 deals another critical. Just to demonstrate that passive in action. Next, we will demonstrate his Chieftain's Focus ability. So here's his normal attack speed, and with Chieftain's Focus active, you can see he attacks quite a bit faster. Gives him a good attack speed buff. Now, it doesn't start out that high, it does scale as you level it up. Next up, we'll demonstrate his Dunedain Blade, which deals AoE damage around him. So you see that 48 damage per tick. It also slows, which allows you to potentially carry it forward for a chase down. It doesn't slow by a large amount, as I'll demonstrate with his ultimate here in just a moment. The next thing that I'll demonstrate is going to be his Staggering Shot, which is a very powerful stun. So it hits pretty hard, as well as lasts for quite a bit of time. So with his ultimate, he gains stealth as well as slows his enemies. So you saw I was slightly invisible there for a second, and there was an icon above the bottom creature's head. A pair of pants is what it looks like, but it indicates that your movement speed has been slowed down. So with that, I just want to demonstrate the entire kit in action, and I'll showcase it here on the bottom jungle, the neutral creep here, and then I will also carry us up to top lane to see it as well. So a full rotation, a lot of times you'll lead with your ultimate in order to get that slow, just to keep them from escaping. You can also stack your Dunedain Blade, which the slows will stack, and keep them pretty well sitting still. And then your attack speed buff from your Chieftain's Focus. Then if they do happen to get away or clear their CC with an ability or a potion, or whatever the case may be, you have a pretty long range on that Staggering Shot. So I like to sometimes save that to see if the enemies do make an escape attempt, and that locks them down just for that extra moment so I can catch up and hopefully finish them off, because at that point your Swordsman relic may be active, meaning that they have less than half health, and that will allow you to really burst them down with some speed. One of the measures of for strikers and warriors that rely on basic attack damage is whether or not they can solo the top creep. And with this particular build, it is fairly easy. Even without using abilities, Arathorn would be able to finish off the top creep just because of his sustain with this build. Now, it would take a little while, as you'll see. It can take some time. So while I whittle that away, Arathorn as a guardian, specifically as a warrior, kind of doesn't really have a place in the meta. He is a fun guardian to play. He has a lot of fun utility aspects to his kit, but there are several guardians that do the things he can do better. He can still be used to a good measure when paired with a strong laning partner. He's very good with ganks, being that he has a lot of burst damage. And you can even build him with ability power to give him a lot more burst, but then he loses a lot of his sustain. And that is Arathorn in a nutshell, folks. Have a great day.